Humans would have gone extinct without alcohol. You hear that and think it is dramatic. You think you like alcohol because of the taste, because it helps you unwind, because everyone at the party is having one. No, you like it because if your ancestors hadn't drunk fermented fruit, you wouldn't be here. It is in your DNA. I'm drinking a beer while writing this. So there is that. Let's start with the most uncomfortable fact. You've been told agriculture came first. People settled down, grew grain, got bored, figured out fermentation. That is backwards. The oldest chemical evidence of alcohol, a 13,000-year-old beer residue from a cave in Israel, predates the first cultivated bread by 2,000 years. Think about that. Humans were fermenting before they were baking. We didn't invent beer because we had extra grain. We settled down because we wanted beer. Before modern sanitation, water was a death sentence. Rivers carried sewage. Wells were contaminated. Every sip was a gamble with dysentery, cholera, typhoid. In medieval Europe, the average life expectancy was 35. But fermented drinks, the alcohol and the boiling process during brewing killed pathogens. Beer was sterile. Wine was safe. Imagine a mother in the 14th century. Her 3-year-old is crying thirsty. She has two options: water from the well next to the latrine pit or a cup of weak beer. She chooses the beer because she has already buried 2 children from the water. She knows which one kills. The oldest surviving medical text, the Ebers Papyrus from ancient Egypt, 1550 BC, lists over 700 remedies that include beer or wine. Infected wound, beer poultice. Digestive issue, wine with herbs. Pain relief, alcohol was the only anesthetic before ether. Monks brewed a thick, nutrient-rich beer called small beer, essentially liquid bread. Picture a monk in winter. He hasn't eaten in 10 days. His hands shake. The abbot brings him a clay mug of small beer. He drinks. The shaking stops. And another page of history is preserved. But to read another piece of history they don't teach you. Archaeologists have been arguing about why humans built the first cities for over a century. Was it defense, trade, religion? A 2012 study flipped the question. What if cities weren't built for food? What if they were built for beer? The researcher Patrick McGovern called it the beer paradox. Grain is a terrible food, hard to digest, nutrient poor. Raw barley tastes like cardboard, but ferment it. Suddenly it's delicious, safe, nutritious, and it makes you feel good. So early communities didn't farm to feed themselves. They farmed to feed their breweries. Think about that. The first grain fields weren't bread baskets. They were beer gardens. And the people who could organize the largest brewery, they became the first kings. Now let's ask the reverse question. What happens when a society tries to remove alcohol? America tried. 1920. Prohibition, bootleg alcohol made in bathtubs, thousands of deaths from methanol poisoning. Organized crime exploded. By 1933, the government admitted defeat. The 21st Amendment repealed the 18th. It was the only time in U.S. history that a constitutional amendment was repealed. But the real test isn't modern America. It is the civilizations where clean water was scarce and alcohol production dropped. Those societies did just suffer. They collapsed. For most of human history, alcohol was infrastructure, not a vice. Not a luxury. It was clean water when water was poison. It was calories when food was scarce. It was medicine when nothing else worked. Every time you raise a glass today, you are repeating a ritual that is 13,000 years old. A ritual that was the difference between life and death. So the next time someone says, "I don't drink," fair enough. But just remember, if your ancestors hadn't drunk fermented fruit, you probably wouldn't be here. Humans would have gone extinct without alcohol. If you want to know what else shaped human history that nobody talks about, subscribe.